It's your boy Zappa, King of the Giant Robots. This is your tactical forecast for September 2024. I don't know what I was doing there, but hey, this is your monthly update video wherein I talk about things past, present, and future of the channel. As such, the intro is never exactly the same, nor is the outro, nor are my thought processes. And so, let's just go ahead and get into the schedule, because, here we are. Oh, it's on Sunday. Yeah, okay, well, I'm still out and about on vacation, but this past week, because it is my vacation week for the convention I work for, we doing filler. Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden, the re-edited episodes are on tap. And going forward, my plan is to, when I'm missing episodes of the secondary series, be that Stardew or Shadow Hearts, I'm going to start putting these out more often, because it should not have taken me 3 years of having this idea to get through the whole thing. Yes, I wanted to have it as backup, but that's too long, dog. I am glad that people are still watching it, though. Listening to the old and ancient me from my first years of doing Let's Plays when I didn't have the curse of weird audio. We'll get back to that later. Secondly, in another remix of the schedule, we have our next Archipelago series, The Golden Triangle, as will be explained on the first episode that goes live on the 5th. It is a remix of myself playing Bring Sabity's Season 1 of Super Mario World, Bring Sabity playing Retro Theater's, what did he play? Link's Awakening DX, and Super Retro Theater, our boy Steve, playing My Lufia 2, Ancient Cave. It just so happened, like, we were all going to pick one of each other's other games, but it was the perfect rotation of I picked the Season 1, Bring picked the Season 2, Steve picked the Season 3. The Golden Triangle, the Golden Ratio, the Golden Rotation, the Golden Experience. It's JoJo's reference. But those episodes start going live at noon on the 5th, and will carry on for 11 episodes ending on the 15th, at which point we get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Super Robot Wars OG will go live. I forgot what word I was trying to say. OG will go live every Monday through Friday at noon Central Standard Time. We have a slated ending point somewhere mid-October. We have plans for October that I may or may not get into at the end of the episode. Stay tuned. Phantasy Star 4, being sometimes co-hosted by Steve of Super Retro Theater, will be every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at noon Central Standard Time. I have a very healthy backlog of episodes currently because of the shift in releases due to the Archipelago. Okay, I was a little concerned that the song wasn't going to loop, but it is a direct rip. Going forward, our sub-series that comes out at 3 p.m. on even days, even numbered days. Oh. That wasn't supposed... I thought I told it to loop. I did not tell it to loop. My bad. I might just cut that out. Funny. You never know. In any case, I was trying to say that at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on even numbered days will be Shadow Hearts, co-hosted by a flightless bird. Like Phantasy Star 4, This is one of Bird's favorite games. He has physically mailed me and allowed me to borrow the discs, thus putting me in contract to play the game nigh immediately. That way I can get this stuff back to him. But that'll be at 3 p.m. on even number days. Thus, on odd number days, Steve and I continue our conquest of the 5 ways of the farm. Oh, ooh, I dropped the ball. We were supposed to play farm this morning. At least of day recording, I was supposed to wake up and... Dang, I'm sorry, Steve. I missed our play date. Maybe there's still time. I digress. Stardew Valley, me and Steve, continuing until we receive judgment, will come out on odd numbered days at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That covers everything, with the exception of something that I've been doing for months now, and I realize every time I do an update, I never mention it. I always forget to bring up that I've been doing my best to do YouTube shorts, taking interesting, sometimes funny clips of things that happen during our games, and those shorts will go up on the channel every Tuesday at 12:15, just because that is like the next programmable time slot after noon. So you get one short a week, and I've been pretty consistent on that, though sometimes it's hard to find content, or the content that I find I can't use, I choose not to use, until that episode is on the same calendar week. So I have incidents that have occurred for Phantasy Star that I can't use until the end of the month because of how much I've managed to backlog Phantasy Star episodes with Steve. But that also means that I'm not very backlogged with Super Robot Wars, and I'm definitely not backlogged on Stardew or Shadow Hearts. I've done my best, but as we get into the angry guitar wailing in the background, I've been wrought and distraught with audio problems still. And just as like I thought I was past them for over a year, I started having different PC problems. And in trying to fix that, an entirely new audio problem started coming up. So I've been doing everything I can. Now, while I believe I have solved the static problem that I used to have, which turned out it did kind of start at the same time I started using this little PNG tuber, because I was using the same microphone for Discord and OBS, that was potentially creating the static. You know, 2 different programs trying to share the same use of the microphone, which I don't see why that would be an issue, but apparently it was. So I switched, currently using my headset microphone that I only use really for like pass-through, so I can hear myself speaking. Now it is what is reacting to the PNG tuber, and it is all but like eliminated, if not utterly minimized, the sound of static, the buzzing. But now we're running into an issue with, like, there's between 1 and 3 seconds of a crackle. Sometimes it's a repeat of audio from a few seconds before. Something I noticed in an episode of Super Robot Wars when I was voicing for Kuro and Shiro, as I'm speaking, it's replaying me speaking from a few seconds back. And it affects, it's not just on the game audio track, it is the entire file. So something is not gelling with OBS. So I have fiddled with the settings as much as I can. I've gotten techie friends from the internet to go through as much as they can without physically being at my computer. to advise me with this and that. Here's this article saying this, here's that, here's whatever. And I've done my best. And at this point, unless some new data comes to light, we've reached the case of fuck it. And the resulting solution of fuck it is I'm going to the best of my ability, sit on money, sit on funds, sit on cash. And when it comes around tax return time, I'm just going to buy a pre-built PC this time. I'm going to get my friends to advise me, what's good, what's bad, what is what I need, and what is inefficient. Can I reuse the new fan and new RAM in the computer? I would at least want to keep the RAM. The fan I'm not so much going to cry about, but just I want things to work like they did when I got this PC. I didn't have audio problems. I didn't have memory problems. I didn't have distress over sounding good. Because, while doing Let's Plays is an excuse for me to play games, I also want it to serve as, documentation for Super Robot Wars. I want every Super Robot Wars to have a narrated Let's Play so people can see what's going on and be able to reference events, because there's probably videos in the in English speaking and Japanese speaking regions that the other can't find, or they're all spread out across 373 different channels. I want as my long-term goal for all of them to be here, one way or another. Even if that means I'm doing Let's Plays into my 50s and 55s, I'm going to do my best to get it all done. I mean, that's not an accurate estimate of time, but I am dedicated to at least Super Robot Wars for that long. In other news, hopefully I'm going to have a great convention. So even if this is a Sunday, if you so happen to be in the Texas area and you go to San Japan, I'll be there. Hit me up. Or hopefully you have had hit me up. I don't know. And other news, as of day of recording, people are getting their download codes, their pre-order codes for Gundam Breaker 4. I got a download code for my digital soundtrack to the game, but I pre-ordered the physical version to get the model kit. Yes, I need more model kits in my life. But I am certainly waiting for that. That is on deck eventually. I will probably slot that in mayhap after Phantasy Star 4. But the going forward plan into October is I have a full-on Let's Play to engage, which I won't reveal until October. But I am going to be playing a horror RPG. And rather than waiting for Halloween to start it, I will just start it as soon as Super Robot Wars OG1 is over. And that'll create a space. And then once that's done, we'll get back into playing. I'll do a coin flip if I'm going to do OGs or OG2. But I will. So I'm at an impasse when it comes to OG. I really and truly genuinely want to play these games on hardware because I have the hardware. I have a Game Boy player on the GameCube. The GameCube is getting old. I don't know how much it would cost to get a new one. I haven't looked into it. I haven't thought to look into it. All we need is the base unit. Because we have the Game Boy player. We have all the outside hardware to make things go. But the battery inside it is dead, so it doesn't keep memory. And On top of that, while it'll instantly read like most discs, there are some discs where it's like, yeah, there's no disc here, can't read the disc, can't read the disc, and so I have to spend the first like 5 to 10 minutes of wanting to play OG, like popping the lid open and close until it decides to read that there's a disc there. So I suppose I'm going to look and see if I can't get a cheap replacement. I know at the conventions that I go to, there is probably a booth of retro games where I may be able to nab a GameCube if it's within a reasonable price. Like if it's a Japanese GameCube at that, it shouldn't matter because we're using a region-free boot disc to get the Game Boy player to go. Or if I get the official Game Boy player disc to work, no, that's not what we need. That's not what we're using. In either case, if I can't get a GameCube at a reasonable cost, OG2 and going forward for the other games that are on the GBA will have to be emulated, which means the potential for save scumming will return. The chaos of compact will return. But that's enough rambling. Let's run that schedule back one last time before I send you folks on your way to enjoy more of my content. Until Tuesday, please enjoy more re-edits of Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden. The re-edits will also be filler spaces when I do not have the correct amount of episodes of Shadow Hearts or Multi-Farm. Starting on the 5th, we hit the Golden Triangle, the Archipelago with myself, Brink Sabity, and Super Retro Theater. That will go from the 5th until the 15th. It is 11 episodes. Don't ask me how those numbers work. Every Monday through Friday at noon Central Standard Time, Super Robot Wars OG on the GBA. We were just complaining about the hardware. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at noon, we're playing Phantasy Star 4 through the, what is it called? Sega Mega Drive and Genesis Classics program, the launcher on Steam. Get off my screen, please. Thank you. That will be at noon. Stardew Valley, myself and Steve of Super Retro Theater on even-numbered days at 3 p.m. Shadow Hearts on odd... Ooh, hold on. No. Multi-Farm is odd-numbered days because it's always going to start on the 1st when the 1st is available. Multi-Farm is on odd-numbered days at 3 p.m. Shadow Hearts with myself and a flightless bird is on even-numbered days at 3 p.m. There are plans in place for October. Shorts come out every Tuesday at 12:15 p.m. Like I said, if you don't see an episode of Shadow Hearts or Stardew Valley, there will at least be a filler episode of name. Alpha Gaiden until that runs out. I will try to think of something to do as a filler space after that point, because I do want to get back to Tactics Ogre. I do want to get back to Super Robot Wars Impact New Game Plus, but I don't know how to get back in there without taking up all that space again, because I do want to continue to progress through games and new games such as Gundam Breaker 4 coming out. The Suikoden 2 remasters also were finally... The Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters were finally given a release date. I will hit that Suikoden 2, but I'll probably hit Suikoden 1 as well. There's so many games I have in the backlog of games to play. At least I don't have like a bajillion irons in the fire now. The fire is chill. So, to hit the plugs, let me start with plugging myself. I have been a guest this past month with Giant Robot FM. We've been discussing Super Robot Wars OG the animation, the 3-episode OVA from 2005 that came out before OGs on the PlayStation 2. I'm a guest on the history episode and episode 3. They actually appreciate that I am knowledgeable about Super Robot Wars, but check that out on your podcatcher of choice, be that Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Pocket Pod. I don't know. There's so many, podcast sources out there. Just look for GRFM, and the public access to the history episode went up the second week of August, and this Friday, matter of fact, should actually be the public release of episode 3. Check me out. Check them out. It's more important to check them out than me out. But if you want to support me, I'm there. Which means you are thereby supporting them, whom I support, which is how I even got to be on the show to begin with. If you want to continue to support me here on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, all that good junk. We're in 7,250 subs. So, maybe by the end of the year I'll hit 8. It's been a faster growth over the last couple of years. So I think that's just how it is. The longer you go, you start getting more exposure. But the more stuff you play, you also bring in the attention of other eyes. Continue to support me. Continue to make number go up. And one day I can make this my job. I also stream very infrequently on Twitch at ace_zappa. It's the same URL for here. I stream infrequently because sometimes I don't want to just stream for the 1 hour or the half hour or the hour and a half that I'm playing the episode of Super Robot Wars. And currently all of my other Let's Plays are relying on the presence of other people. I think that's kind of a bad idea personally. But that means that if they're not free, I need to start backlogging Super Robot Wars or working on the next project. Okay, I think that's it. Here at the end of the song. Like, share, subscribe, follow, do all of those verbs, and we'll see you in the next Let's Play.
All combat is over. Now that you've tasted victory, I'm sure you'll be back.